Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 3 of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Winter League Tournament. My name is Hoodie Two Shoes, and I'm here with C Parsley, and we've got a heck of a race for you this week. No, Parsley was having a little trouble. Are you there, Parsley? All right, well, while we wait for Parsley to get the audio sorted out, we've got 4 racers here in a positional week that all have the same total number of points throughout the first 2 weeks. They've all got 5 points, but don't let that deceive you. These are juggernauts of racers. We've got Tilo on the top left. We've got Cyberdark86 on the top right. We've got Juef on the bottom left, I did my best, and Kegalis on the bottom right. All 4 of these racers are definitely hoping to finish with a 5-point victory here. That would vault them into the 10-point range, which would put them a lot closer to contending for that playoff spot that everybody wants. We do have 3 different stat builds based on the names today. The stat builds we'll be seeing are Strength Agility, utilized by Tilo and Cyberdark. We got Strength HP by Juef, and Kegalis has Agility MP. So we'll see if and how much the difference between those level ups will matter in this race here. Week 3 is a cool flag set for some and a hated flag set for others. The key flags that are on this week are Three's Company, which is an alternate win condition, where if you can take Gwaelin down to the Dragon Lord and accept his offer, that is your victory condition. Generally takes less time than grinding up enough stats to kill the Dragon Lord, and we're off. We'll see where we start. The other flags of note are Stair Shuffle and Random Chest Locations. So once we get through the text here, we'll see what kind of starting items we get here in the throne room. We got a torch, an herb, and we're gonna get the key. So starting with no MP here, and enough strength that we can kill a couple of enemies unless things are looking real bad in terms of abilities. And without any extra keys, everybody is out pretty quickly, with the exception of Juef, who's going for a save. Everybody else is looking for something to kill. Got a Drakey, that's looking definitely killable, and we'll see about the Magician. How about, are you there, Parsley? Looks like we're still trying to get Parsley sorted out, so for now, just everybody looking like they're trying to get their bearings, and Tilo is up to 4 XP, 1 slime away from level 2, and we'll see what's at level 2. Everybody else has yet to get any XP. And you kind of hate to see the slime-on-slime violence, but this slime kill will vault Tilo to level 2. Let's see what we get here. We get 2 power, 4 agility, 1 HP, and 3 MP, and nothing else. So not a huge difference, but, you know, every little bit counts. Seeing an attempt on the Magician, but looks like thinking better of going after the Magician. Let's see if... Oh, well, an excellent move. Puts you at 7. That's a lot better of a chance for... Oh, just crit twice, and it's easy. There you go. That's 8 XP. Puts Tilo very close to level 3 here. See some of our other racers taking on enemies like Magidrakes and Magicians and getting thoroughly dispatched. So see if they can't find some Drakes and some Slimes and just get themselves to the... Looks like Juef is going to get that right now and should get that level 2. We'll be a little bit disappointed by it, but will be able to work his way. And here we have Tilo with 3 power, 11 agility, 9 HP, 5 MP, Radiant, and Heal More. Radiant is kind of a titan of a spell in this flag set where you have not only the random chest locations, but the stair shuffle. Knowing which floor you're on is a huge advantage, and also being able to look for chests without having to navigate all the way to them also can be a great advantage. So this is where Radiant really, you know, pun definitely intended, shines. Looks like Tilo ventured out a little bit and found something a little bit above his weight class and sent back home for his efforts. Everybody else still looking to try their best against whatever they can find. We got a ghost here on Cyberdark screen, and that might be a pretty good find for XP, and definitely something that's killable by them. Oh, and a town. I didn't see which town that was, so sorry about this. I'm going to do my best here with just me for now until we can get Parsley sorted out. But yeah, this desert zone by this town, at least having ghosts seems to be a pretty good deal at the moment. Most of the other racers hanging out in the mountains here outside of the starting castle. Looks like Tilo was thinking and still thinking about fighting Magidraki, doing 1 damage, getting a weak breath for the death. Might reconsider fighting the Magidrakis for now. Looks like it was Rimalder is the town. We've got Kigalis there as well. So let's see what's in the shop. We got Copper Sword, Small Shield are the things that are potentially feasible for them unless the situation changes greatly. See if there's a chest in here, and there is. We'll see if it's guarded. It's not. And fairy water. I mean, that could be helpful, but for the most part, a gold chest would have been good for the copper sword, and the small shield would have been a definite upgrade for the kinds of combat that they're doing right now. And he is considering grinding for the fairy water, coming in and out. It's an easy chest. You don't have to spend any resources to get it, so definitely a good play here, and should be able to allow him to get some kills that were previously inaccessible to him. Meanwhile, Tilo just grinding it out next to the castle. I believe Tilo has not found Rimalder as of yet. And I'm fairly certain that's the town that Cyberdark found, but I'm not 100%. So it's hard to watch all of the screens at once, but I'm doing my best. And this will be enough to get to level 3 for Cyberdark. We'll get the Radiant and heal more, but it's not a whole lot extra. It's 3 extra strength, which, you know, is nice. Well, depending on the stat build, but... And the ghost in that zone with the poltergeist is pretty decent as well. In terms of fairy waterable enemies, Magidraki might be the best at this point that we've seen. I'm not sure if there's something else out there that you might be able to kill with a couple fairy waters and a heal more to stay alive or something like that. And yet Rim is looking like it's pretty darn close to start here, so should be seeing everybody finding it without too much trouble. I missed it, but I guess that slime has DL2 breath. That's not what you want. A scorpion here could be a good enemy. It's right outside Sharlock here in this zone. Was that a Drakemaw also? Potentially a good zone there, especially if you can get your hands on some of those fairy waters. Might be a pretty lucrative place to grind with the way that this seed has been going. Getting that 16 or 20 XP boost seems pretty relevant, and if you can get something good at level 5, could be very, very important. Let's see, we got, yep, the same stuff. There's half plate, full plate, copper sword, small shield, club maybe in the shop. I'm pretty sure that's what the inventory was, but some decent defensive options, and then a copper sword. And that's about all that Rim has to offer. It's good, but it's not game-breaking. But that 10 attack power would be great. In the meantime, everybody is pretty darn close on XP, even if it feels like they're not. It might take an eternity to get from that 26 XP up to the 65, but eventually if there's a breaking point, and you hope that there is when you're doing this, it should all even out somewhat effectively. It looks like Tilo's going to grab some keys, has amassed enough gold to at least buy one, potentially more than one. I haven't seen his screen. We'll take a look here. Yeah, he'll buy 1 key and maybe go save and check out the treasury and then underneath the castle potentially. And Kigalus fighting the scorpions over there. Gonna be the first one, it looks like, to level 5. You get 8 power, 12 agility, 20 HP, 5 MP, and hurt, and that's a pretty big level. That's a lot of stats, and hurt allows you to fight a little bit above your weight class right now. So that's a pretty fantastic level, and he's gonna go and grab a key in Rim here as well. So it's not quite hurt more, but that was a pretty significant level, and Kigalus is the first to get there. Let's see if he can take advantage of that and maybe utilize some of that to get some more XP and potentially explore, or we'll see what he chooses to do with it. There's a couple of options, and it does look like he might be trying to push out a little bit now that he has hurt and a little bit more resource. And here we have Cyberdark now, going to grab at least 1 key. I haven't seen if Schweif has gone and grabbed keys yet or not, but he potentially could be the only one not to have at least bought 1 key so far, but we'll see. I'm not 100% on that. And Kigalus down here dispatching Dracumaz pretty handily now, which is gonna feel great in terms of trying to get more XP and further leveling. We've got the Silverharp Trade-in Cave here in the swamp area, and not enough MP to cast Heal more, so potentially just gonna take a death and start on over. There is a chest behind the double locked door in Rimalder. I don't think anybody's looked. And here's Tilo checking the treasury. Got gold worth about 700. And probably going to take that right back to Rim and go buy a bunch more keys. So fairly successful. Probably going to buy a copper sword also. And that 10 attack power is going to feel real good getting enough XP to maybe get out of this. Cyberdark getting hurt moored by a magician there, sent back home. And potentially we might have see Parsley here in a second. We'll see if maybe he's got the issue sorted out. And Tilo going back, gonna fill up on some more keys and probably check the basement of Tantagel fairly soon. And looking like Cyberdark also just picked up that gold chest and is also headed back north to go buy more keys and maybe do some more checking in the castle.
All right, finally testing. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, welcome in, Parsley. Nice to see you. Sorry about all those issues.
I'm saying normally in one room where sometimes some audio from the back could pick up, so I tried to move into a quieter room, but of course had to test the setup here, and of course everything went back in a coin basket. Can you give me a quick Reader's Digest edition of what I've missed so far?
Been a little bit of a slow XP start here. Rimalder is just north of the castle, so with a little bit of work, everyone's been able to grind up some keys. There's gold in the treasury, so they've used that to buy more keys, and they're mostly just looking to level up and try to explore out to find more stuff.
Looks like Joaif is the only one who hasn't, or...
Yeah, as of right now, I don't think that he's gone in, and he's probably waiting for enough to get... Oh, he has enough to get 2 keys, but has not yet gone in and grabbed the keys and checked the stuff in the castle as of yet.
Alrighty, sounds good. Let's rock and roll.
But yeah, level 5 came with hurt and a little bit of extra oomph, and now here's level 6. And just some more HP and some other stats, so steadily getting up there, and we're getting to the point where do you just stick down here and get these enemies that are kind of low XP but consistent, or do you try to press on and find something out in the world?
If you do, I would think that you'd only have about maybe one more level of doing so, because by the time we get up towards 8, 9, 10, 11, those XPs are really not going to cut it.
And here we got a survival on 1 HP and the successful runaway. So you love it when fortune favors you like that for Kikolis down there, staying alive to explore a little bit.
Have we seen any great spots of shops yet, or?
So I believe the shop in Rim had a club, a copper sword, a half plate, a full plate, and a small shield. So we've got copper swords on 3 of the 4 and small shields on Tilo and Cyberdark.
Well, normally we would not be too happy with that kind of a shop, but considering how close Rimbledar is to your Tentangel, not a bad shop to start with.
Yeah, especially with things being as rough as they were, finding a copper sword is definitely a welcome sight when you're looking for any kind of attack power to just be
And
able to
Thilo, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Thilo may have just had a treasure guard in the top of the tablet cave. Token cave. No, it was tablet, my apologies.
And with 1 cast of heal more left, might be able to make its way through this Wraith Knight, so we can see something pretty good here.
Winging it only 5 to 6, though. It is going to be close. You're going to try a torch to finish it, and does get through just barely. That 72 is awesome, and the item is the Silver Harp, one of the necessary items for your homework to be.
And always one you're very happy to find early, because that means as soon as you locate the Silver Harp trade-in cave, you're ready to go. You don't have to do any rerouting back.
And unfortunately, you are going to be stair-locked. It looks like it was either one of the corners of Grave or Sharlock, followed by just an empty spot where nothing was there.
It's nice enough to be able to just write it off as an area, though. You don't have to go back in there. You know you got what you needed out of there, so you can look elsewhere for your stuff.
And that's the fun thing. You could be hopping. You could be one moment in Grave, next moment in Mountain, and then all the way back to Tentangel. Underneath for Hawks, or no, not Hawks, they don't have Delp, but Sharlock. You get what I'm referring to.
Yeah, these seeds, everything you're looking for could be on the overworld. You might never need to set foot in a cave, or you might need to spend nigh on 40 minutes going through a mega complex of Sharlock and Garen's Grave looking for 3 different story items. So it's really a very varied tapestry this week.
It looks like the freebie is what's underneath the Tentangel. It looks like nothing there.
Yes, so far the only important item I think we've seen was that Silver Harp for Tilo in Tablet, like you mentioned. I don't think we've run across...
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think we've run across anything else.
And a Death Warp by Kikolis trying to get across the swamp. Did not have the way to re-heal himself.
And easy enough to start over. So looks like there might be, you know, a couple of paths. You can go north and then maybe to the east from start, and kind of forced into a funnel a couple of different ways here.
I'm a little wondering about the treasure guards, because in the race that happened earlier this evening, I'm not going to give any serious spoilers, we did have one of the items that did not have a treasure guard on it.
So if the item has the death necklace or the fairy flute, it will not be treasure guarded. So, you know, for example, if you have
that answers that one.
like a 1-2 coordinates and it rolls fairy flute, it will not have a treasure guard.
That answers that one, as that one of those two, again, not trying to give away which, was the one that was on the coordinate.
And we see a sword pickup right there, a search from a potential treasure guard by Kikolis, and gets the sword. That's a huge pickup right now, especially because I don't think he even had a weapon, so that's 40 attack power. But even for anyone else would have been 30 on top of the copper sword, so that's great. That's a huge play. One of those things where I'm not sure if it was just past that bridge, if the other players will have a similar opportunity to encounter that treasure guard and make the play, or if it was maybe a couple tiles off and it was just a stroke of good fortune to have walked there. I wasn't paying close enough attention.
I'm sorry, I had a kid run in. Did we accidentally walk into the overworld coordinates by a treasure card, or?
I caught the tail end of it. That's what I'm assuming happened. I don't think we've seen Cantland, so I think that Kigalus came across a treasure guard on the world map and threw out a search and got the sword. I know for a fact he got the sword, so yeah, pretty exciting.
That's the old needle in a haystack that may be the difference between 5 points and 10 points out of the end of the week.
Yeah, really great play, and I was just musing on whether it was in a spot that the other racers are likely to find themselves, or if he was maybe a little bit off the beaten path. And it looks like the MP total for our racers is maybe a little bit lower than you would want.
Hey, compared to the MP earlier today, that would be given, but yeah, you're going to have to hold off for maybe a few more levels, maybe a 14 or 15, before you try to get through the 2 spike tiles, one for Wayland and one, of course, on Sherlock, to go ahead and be able to do your Three's Company.
Yeah, and with the potential for either a mega dungeon in Sherlock or some important item locked behind a mega dungeon, being able to have access to heal more or potentially hurt more casts, very important. So with a max of, around 21, 23 MP, not looking great, and definitely more XP required. HP total looking pretty decent, though, with already 80 and 86 here we see. So that's at least something good. The only person with any armor at all is Cyberdark with a half plate. It looks like Tilo turned in the harp, has the Staff of Rain, is the only racer as of right now that's found a story item. Kigalus was able to find the sword, which should be pretty helpful, but still needs to find all 3 of the story items. And anyone would be happy to come across that sword.
Yeah, definitely, especially out in the ordinary where you weren't expecting. You go, ooh, that's different. And then, oh my happiness. And it wasn't the, as they say, the Erdrick's tease.
No, the full-fledged big sword, not quite. In this flag set, sometimes you're more excited to see the token than you are the sword, so it all depends on the seed. That's kind of the fun of the week, or not the fun, depending on how you feel about it.
That is correct. By the way, Kigalus has found the first level of Grave. First of the random possibilities did have a chest, but it was only a pair of wings.
And they do have access to Radiant, which is great in looking for these additional chest locations. So, and that is
71 by the Scorpion. Wow.
That stings a bit. It's never a guarantee that you're going to get the armor in these flag sets. It always feels real good, and sometimes it can be a question of whether it seems worth it to look for it or not. Lots of questions this week about whether you just go and be bold or if you look for the safety play. It's hard to know what's going to pay off in the end, but lots of different decision points.
Most definitely, because even the thing like a gold grain, which you normally would do because you figured you need the items, might be the wrong play in this kind of a seed, depending on what lines up in what order.
At least when you run into a red dragon on the overworld, when you've got the alternate run algorithm, you feel like you got a decent chance to get away, as opposed to the standard run of things where you just feel like you're going back home.
That definitely will help our runners, of course, with that algorithm. Anytime you try to run in the overworld, you're usually more likely to, of course, agility numbers do come into play. In dungeons, not quite as much, and in Sherlock, good luck.
The fairy flute actually becomes a little bit more useful in the alternate run algorithm and easy Sherlock combo with the golems. Can be difficult to run away from and pretty problematic. So sometimes just using the flute, especially with the speed hacks on that speeds up the flute song, can be quite advantageous to just flute the golems and run away.
And speaking of that, Kegel finding coal, found out that was in there was indeed the fairy flute.
And hey, like I was saying, you might be a little bit more inclined to be excited about that in this flag set than another time, but still probably looking for something else.
Dragon's Shield in the back of the bill, and there we go, the great NPC causing the block on Kegelith.
Looks like the XP totals are fairly close to one another. Not much more than about 180, 200 XP difference between the top and the bottom right now. And
the other go ahead. The other thing we definitely need to watch out for is your key count, because with all the extra places treasure chests can be, you can burn through those keys pretty quickly if you're not keeping an eye. Meanwhile, Thelo has found Hawknut in the corner.
Thinks about it for a second and then maybe saves it for later, wants to keep looking around instead of potentially getting sent away, and finds another town immediately as a result. So a pretty good decision there to take it conservatively in this instant.
Yep, and considering your account, Garingham is in there for that town.
Yeah, and we'll see if there's a possibility for a chest locked away below the inn, and also a possibility for the regular 3 chests inside the locked door up above. And then the 2 guards in that locked door could also be guarding a chest in there as well. So we'll have to see if any of those spawned.
Meanwhile, Cyberdark randomly into the big sword as well.
And you'd love to see the runners being quick with the wits, seeing an interesting enemy and going for the search right away. Rewarded with the sword, great place.
Unlike the last 2 weeks, though, the items are regular price this time around. So yeah, you might be happy to see, say, a 14,008 silver shield, but you are definitely going to have to come up with 14,800 if you want to get it.
Yep, and gold grinding can be quite beneficial, and we've got a treasure guard here.
Yeah, the 3 was down to 1, but the 1 is vital.
And at this point, you'll be very happy no matter what it is. Even if it's not a story item, the armor is always very helpful, especially with a low MP seed like this. You'd be pretty darn happy to see the armor here.
Well, especially considering where this fight is, you can easily hop right back out without leaving the town, without resetting your key count, and re-heal as soon as you're done with this battle if you need to.
And definitely looks like it's going to be a pretty resource-intensive battle, but seems like Thelo, with the heal more, oh man. So, yep, like you said, could go and heal, but don't think we have stop spell, so might just save it for another time.
Well, also, he is doing that fight with only the copper sword compared to the Erdrick sword. And it looks like we have the bottom of grave is the point there off the back. Actually, I know. Yeah, it is grave.
And it looks like we've got in chat that somebody got the armor in the top right. Oh, it was Kigalis in the top right of Swamp. So, got the armor and the sword. None of the story items, but walking around with that armor is going to feel very good.
What very likely would mean that the treasure guard here in Garingham has got to be one of our key items, you would think. The only other thing left would be, what, the Death Necklace?
Death Necklace would not spawn the treasure guard, so it's definitely going to be one of the required items here. We'll just, with the heal more on the wizard, it's going to be a pretty tough hill to climb, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah, especially since Kegelith hasn't seen that, but does get away with it and get the fight. The item is the Token of Erdrick, aka normally the Erdrick you don't like to see, but today we'll take it just fine.
And this is putting Kigalis in a pretty good position here, having the offense and the defense and the token behind that heal mooring wizard, which the other runners are going to have trouble defeating. Thelo has the knowledge and also has the Staff of Rain, so if if he can come across the armor in Swamp Cave and find the treasure guard guarding the sword, could be also in a very strong position, but needs to do those things first. And here we've got Juef checking out the enemy inside of Hawksness here, and it's a golem. And I believe that Kigalus is the only one with the fairy flute right now.
That's going to be one, unless you're Kigalus. You're probably just going to turn away. Speaking of Kigalus, he has just entered Hawks himself, but immediately out.
And with a 97 HP and the sword, he definitely has a chance with the flute. He doesn't know that it's a golem, but I think would be pretty well suited to take it out.
Well, level 9 for Kigalus there. Replacement key back in Caitlin.
And if the stones are in Hawksness, that means that all three of the items, or I guess all of the items that you need, are not terribly difficult to find. So wouldn't really need to be diving too far in any caves for any reason, but not a guarantee that the stones are going to be in Hawksness.
And we have another treasure guard in Caitlin.
Well, then that's where our item's going to be. So I think that this tells us right now that Hawksness is not going to be required. Could be the Death Necklace, could be nothing.
That would be the only choices for Hawks now.
But that does mean that diving deep into any of these caves is not going to be necessary and would essentially be strictly a waste of time at this point. So if you're running the race, you definitely want to hope that you can find the stuff that you need. And we've got Cyberdark here in Swamp Cave, very likely to run into he's got the Rogue Scorpion. Oh, he's not. His resources are bad. If he's able to take this out, he will get the armor.
And Dilo cannot go ahead and re-heal yet because, of course, Caitlin being the 100 gold, super rich Carlton, and he only has $24 of gold on him.
Cyberdark able to take down that Rogue Scorpion and will be rewarded with the armor, and that's going to feel real good. So our second runner to get the armor, and that's going to help quite a bit.
Meanwhile, from the jumping waif is actually in Sharlock. No, actually, I take that back. The upper level grave. Well, is that, or is that Sharlock? Was I right the first time? I think he is in like level 2 or 3 of Sharlock on the one leap. And that's probably going to be the dead end in Sharlock.
And he doesn't know, but we do, that any kind of diving shenanigans in this this dungeon is not going to pay off in terms of either the sword, the armor, or any of the rainbow drop items.
And sad for Thilo, he's trying to get 100 gold, but everything he pulls is nothing but metal scorpion, not metal scorpion, but metal slimes.
Cyberdark, getting the information about the golem, goes in with 3 MP and says, no thanks, I don't have a flute, and I have 3 MP, and decides to save it for another time.
Yeah, because otherwise it would just be an automatic trip back to home.
Could potentially think about trying to take it out with a little bit of a rest here, but the MP total is still, well, 42 is not bad. Definitely can consider trying to take it out here. We'll find the wizard, but doesn't have any MP and doesn't know that it has heal more, as far as I know.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I was Cyberdark, I'd be running, heading back to that deal to heal. And there he's trying to now.
He sees it and is going to make the play to try to run away and go heal and try again. So, luckily to be able to get this taken down and get the token. And Tilo, with enough gold to rest at the inn, very likely to spend a cushy night on the 100 gold bed in the lap of luxury.
From what I heard, it's not a lap of luxury. It's cheap stuff and you're just paying for the name. But regardless, around we go with that deal, and there goes down the temple guard of treasure guard 3 for the token of Erdrig.
And that's 1 of 3 now for Cyberdark.
And
we
we get
know
a-
that
Go
the
ahead.
only cave to go in is Tablet, because that's the one that has the harp, as far as I remember.
Yeah. Other than you said that the armor was in, I believe, Grave.
The armor is in top right of Swamp, but
Okay,
I guess
Swamp
that is a
Cave.
cave as well. But I'm thinking about potential dungeon caves, and Swamp is kind of an easy in and out check, so I wasn't really thinking. But that is another cave you got to go in, yeah.
Yep, so by the way, anybody going around Grave or Mountain is just killing the clock. And we have an AK on Wayland Spike.
And I'm not sure if we've seen any spells from any armored knights yet, but that should provide potentially a little bit of a barrier. They do have HP and heal more though, so they might be able to just swing their way through it unless it has heal more or something terrifying.
Yeah, right now there ain't no real rush to get Wayland. However, I'd just wait to get hurt more here, hopefully in the next couple levels.
Yep, and Cyberdark, real close to the next level. Will be disappointed to find out that it does not come with Hurt More.
Dwayne now finds out his bad news of the AK. Meanwhile, Kegel is still just going mountain hopping from dungeon to dungeon level.
Yeah, doesn't have the knowledge that Cantlin is the place that he wants to go, and then Tablet is the only cave he needs to be in. Definitely can't know, so making the play to just look around in the places he does find, and it seemed to be pretty expansive, and we know that that's just going to be a time sink, so it'll be interesting to see if any of the other runners can kind of catch up to the position that he's found for himself.
Yep, and Cyberdark is starting his own time sink there in Grave.
And you never know that it was the wrong play when you're making it. It's easy for us to see it up here. And there's the Death Necklace, top of Grave there. Basically only useful for the 1,200 gold that it can get you, but there might be a rare example where you might want it, but not a very useful item in this flag set, generally.
Yep. But normally, if you get 131.40, you'd use it to, of course, get your 10 extra points for the Dragon Lord. However, we're not going to even touch him today. Just say, hey, would you like to be the third wheel in me and Princess sandwich?
Yeah, we're going to do some redecorating of the castle there at the end here. So that's our end goal. It's pretty exciting. But we got to get all the items first, and so far I don't think anybody has more than one of the required items for the rainbow drop.
I believe you're correct on that. Last swing possible for Kegelis and gets away with it with just one magic 6 hit points. But his brother comes by and only hurts, so he stays alive to try to run away and does.
And this is quite an expansive cave system, so whenever you see something like this, it makes you wonder if maybe Sharlock will be kind of short, because a lot of the stair-heavy floors you've already seen. So we'll have to wait and see for that.
Well, most of the practice seeds I've ran on this, because our group's going to go on Thursday, usually has one of the 3 doors in the top of Sharlock that drops you immediately to the basement. But when you especially are seeing this long connected path, you definitely believe that's going to be one of your plays.
And Tilo upgraded to a hand axe here from the Copper Sword. It's a little 5 extra attack power.
Unfortunately, he hasn't hit that random spot for the Treasure Guard sword yet.
Yeah, I still think that Kegelis might be the only one who has encountered that so far. So
Actually, I believe we've had 2 that have. I think I've seen Cyberdark do as well.
Let's Seems like the other ones are going to have to maybe look for the coordinates in Cantlin, and they might just disregard that entirely. So, really going to have to see here.
And with 91, that is confirmed. Cyberdark does have the sword as well.
But yeah, based on these floors that we've been seeing, Charlock itself might not be the scariest we've ever seen in terms of a stair shuffle menace.
Nope, your major cast is going to be, is it going to be left, right, or center? And unlike some other seeds I've ran, at least you have the armor, so you're not going to pay the 15 per tile to try to choose which door. That can very likely become a possibility as this week goes on. Many other runners will run through the seed. If you could be going to Starlock before you have Erdrick's armor, and you'll have to have the resources, not only, of course, to get through the spike, but to get through that 15 barrier tiles all the way to your doors.
Luckily for our runners in this race, 3 of the 4 have the armor, and you'd think that eventually Tilo will check that top right chest in the swamp cave. That's a pretty favorable location for an item because it's not very far away, and you'll generally be able to find that cave. But yeah, like you're saying, in other
and on top of that, of course, you'll be there, of course, because you'll have to get the princess at some point.
Yeah, so a very favorable location for something important to be in the swamp cave.
I think so far, this is going to be about as jetty as one of these seeds this week might be possible to become.
Definitely if they had first locationed everything, but the way it stands, we still only have 3 runners with even 1. Nobody has more than 1 of the rainbow drop items. And Zhuave still doesn't even have any of them. He's about to get one of them right here on this wizard, so he's going to have the token as well.
So that does mean Tilo has not seen Garingham yet then.
Yep, and potentially might want the fairy flute for a golem, but you might not need it either.
And remember, we also have another one available in the very bottom here of Caitlin, or Catlin, depending on how you wish to pronounce it.
And here he is, Kikolis, about to grab the stones chest after fighting a treasure guard. So should be able to take down this wizard and have 2 of the required items. Just needs to find Erdrick's cave, otherwise known as the tablet cave, and that will have the harp.
Normally, we're used to seeing people go anywhere from like 17 to 22. Most of your runners to this week, I would be surprised if they get much more beyond 14 to complete.
Yeah, having the HP and MP totals that they have as of right now, especially with the high agility that they have, it seems like a pretty safe time to try to go once you get the items, especially for those of them that have been deep in the caves and know that the cave system outside of Charlock is extensive. It seems like you might have a good chance to get in there and just get right down to the bottom floor.
While you were doing that, Kikolis does go ahead and upgrade to the large field. Tilo, on the other hand, is trying to grind between skeletons and metal slimes to boost his level. As you can see there by the wizard, 75% of the time in range they will throw that heal more. 25% of the time they will fire on you.
75 is not the percent you want with heal more, but fortunately our runners have been able to get through those wizards to get their important items. All except Tilo has yet to go back to get the token and hasn't found Cantlin yet.
Tilo on the slime if you can get one more.
We've got Cyberdark grinding some gold, potentially for a silver shield. Might want that extra defensive boost.
Well, it can be basically feast or famine, especially this far into the run. But we'll see if it pays off for Cyberdark.
And the runners do have a pretty high agility, even at low levels, so useful not only for defense, but also for what you can repel, even in Charlock at this point.
Meanwhile, Kikolis hits the Wraith Knight trigger. And Wave failed in being able to take out the trigger.
And there's the harp. Just needs to trade it in and then go talk to our friend the jerk, and we'll be Sharlock ready.
Yep, the evil boy who, if you don't have everything ready, will just kick you right out of his cave.
He knows what he wants, and make sure that he gets it, that guy. And again, nobody else has yet to find more than one of the story items, so I'd say a pretty significant advantage here for Kigalus. Definitely looks to be firmly in control of this race, and looks like it's in his hands right now.
And we have 2 chests in the back of the inn here in Big Granary. First being gold, the other one will be a package of wings.
And we've got the rainbow drop now.
And of course, those wings are not a can of Red Bull. So now it's going to be on Eagle if he's going to want to go get the princess, or if he's going to want to try to get some information there in Sharlock first.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he chooses. I would think, having seen so much of the cave system, might feel pretty confident about the situation in Sharlock, and might be a pretty good idea just to try to get the princess and see if he can get in there and win. But we'll see what he decides to do.
Roll the old Sharlock dice and see what happens.
And as is being mentioned in chat, another reason that keys are so important in this flag set is that you need some keys inside Sharlock to be able to search the different stairwells for the route down to the Dragon Lord. So if you're not paying attention to your keys, you can run out and need to go to Rim with your tail between your legs before you can keep exploring.
Yep, that's because, of course, the left and the right door are going to require a key. I don't believe you need one for the center, the traditional search behind for the stairs.
No, so you'll need at least 2 keys if you're not looking for anything in the treasury to be able to do a successful dive. And if you end up dying, well, you're going to need more than that. And we've got Kigalus fighting the spike tile, going to rescue the princess, it looks like.
See if they can get through the AK.
Yeah, in this circumstance, Rim is just north of start, so it's not that big of a deal, but it could be a little bit more punishing in different circumstances.
Meanwhile, Cyberdark hits his trigger there in the tablet cave, as the princess is recovered by Kigalus. Now, at this point, though, of course, you definitely don't want to hit down to the princess, the king, because she'll take her. And our coordinates we finally do have is just 1 south, 41 east of start.
So that might have been no more keys, but at least he knows. And like we said, Rim very close to start, so shouldn't be too much of a barrier to pick up a couple more keys before heading on to Sharlock.
And Wake gets the fairy flute there in gold.
Potentially, if there's a spike tile golem in Deep Sharlock, could be helpful, but we know that you don't need to kill the golem in Hawksness, so Fairy Flute... Oh, it could be helpful on the dive, though. If you get some golems on the way down, they can be difficult to run away from, so could still be minorly helpful.
Have we seen 2 curse spells? I'm sorry, 3?
I'm not sure.
Because if we haven't seen 3, Hawks may be just a big old zero burger having absolutely nothing. Since we know there is one on the coordinates and we've seen one in Cola.
Yeah, the Death Necklace was top of grave, so I think that by default it had to be nothing in Hawksness.
Meanwhile, Philo again giving the shot to the wizard here.
And the Armored Knight with the Heal More, looks like we don't have Outside, we don't have Stop Spell. Kigalus, trying to get out after having rescued the princess, is dealing with a Heal More boss here, and we just hope he can make it through.
Yeah, she is having to return out. You can't just warp on out, unfortunately. The problem with Gwaylin is you gotta do that twice. Once in, once out.
Oh boy, and then the hurt more on top. He's got both more.
And there's the heal more again.
I think has a real good chance of making it down and winning if you can get out of here, but this armored knight is proving to be a juggernaut.
Meanwhile, while that was all going on, Thilo does go ahead and take care of the spike tile there in Caitlin. Sorry, Caitlin.
And that puts Tilo also at 2 of the quest items, so just needs to make his way back to Garenham and fight that wizard. And we'll have all 3 of the required items. Might be able to do this without sword or armor.
And unfortunately, Keegless is down to just 1 more round of healing to try to get through this.
So then the question becomes, do you try to get some XP for Stop Spell or Hurt More, or do you just try to do this again? I'm not sure what you do. I guess close enough to 3,000, maybe just try to get level 12.
And he does
got there.
Get through! Burning absolutely everything in the tank.
And making the question moot. Very, very nice to get through that. Wonder if he has any wings or anything, but definitely going to feel great to get out of there.
But he is heal walking at least through here.
And on the overworld with the alternate run algorithm and their very high agility, you feel pretty good about chances of running away, even from the likes of a red dragon. And here I am cursing. And there's the escape, so yeah, able to get away.
I was about to say partners, but thank God it was only one time from the fun police.
And now with the heals, definitely looking to be a lot safer. So very likely to make a dive here at Sharlock, and potentially could be our first finisher.
Very, very puts it all in his spot to lose now. However, I'd be good. Yes, I was gonna say I'd be smart. Go grab a few keys just in case if your count might be low.
I think that he was out.
At 0.
Yeah,
I think
so this is
0.
Definitely the prudent play.
Yeah, because do you really want to risk it's middle or nothing? Now, I would personally take a couple more than 2 just in case if you get stuck in a twisting path there that might require you to open a door too as you're heading down as well.
Yeah, might as well. Or if you die and you have to go back in, or you decide to cast outside. Just nice to have a couple extra. So here we go. We are making a bridge. And going right first, it's the fastest one to check. We won't have to worry about those barrier tiles, so that feels real good.
Werewolf wants to guard in front, and unfortunately, since we're now in the deal, the running algorithm will be against you.
And Tilo's got all 3 of the rainbow drop items now. Potentially could trade in and maybe take a crack at it if he feels confident enough, but will be very difficult for him to get through that armored knight. So we'll see what he does about that.
And the right was wrong, as it only goes down 2 levels to a center well that has 1 treasure chest but no other way out.
And kind of feels good to. I mean, you want to find the right direction, but having a dead end like that, you know where you don't need to go, and you can just move right along, making progress. So that feels good.
So in chat, left or center, vote now. Down to 1 more, but he does have the spell block on, so this should be okay for Cyberdark, and he does get through it.
Oh yeah, the difference of stop spell making a huge impact here.
Blessed be the level 12. And of course, Cyberdark, the only one having that level 12.
Gonna have to fight again, but having stop spell should have a pretty decent time making it through this fight here.
Throw out that stop spell right on front, but it does not work this time. Going middle is Higos on his check.
And that's going to be the right direction. looking very good on resources as of right now, and it might be a grave and maybe a little bit more painful than you'd want, but hopefully not too bad.
Yep, Rot's in grave, and grave is linking to itself so far. There's the U of the castle.
Yeah, the corner to corner is maybe one of the best outcomes there because it doesn't lead to anywhere crazy.
That leads to grave 3. Grave 2, sorry. No, it doesn't. That leads just to a dead end.
Yeah, I think
So
that's down in Mountain,
again.
but I might be mistaken.
I believe you're right, partner.
So we've got the middle here, and
that's the only other check. See what this ladder goes to.
We've got bottom right, I think, as well.
Yeah, you're right, because I think he came from there, but we'll see. Yeah, he came from the bottom left. That's going to take you to where you normally would have the diamond. In, I believe, grave 4.
Smartly uses the flute and decides to run away. So we'll see if this is the direction that leads to pay dirt, and it is.
And there it is. We're down in the basement. One spike tile away from throwing those GGs and getting those 5 much-needed points.
And with the armor, the sword, and a pretty full set of resources, feels pretty likely that we'll take it home. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Barring a few misclicks, is the only thing that could do it now. Blue
and
dragon on the spike.
Is not the armored knight repeat.
I think we've seen that before. I think it's like hurt in just a regular fight for the 2 on that one, I believe. No, it's sleep.
We got sleep.
But as long as he only hurts you, it ain't gonna hurt much. Then I cursed it, and he's now actually just regular attacking.
Got the attack off. Remember, stop spell comes at level 12, so Kikulus does not have access to it, and is able to get through.
Get ready, folks. I know he's got about 8 more steps, but get ready with... Am I going to jinx him here with the golem? Oh,
he's got the flute, taking no chances. Very, very wise choice right there.
All right. Normally in the game you hold B, but hold A. Not B, A.
And everybody get your GGs out for Kikulus with a well-deserved first-place finish.
And at racetime.gg of 55 minutes 44 seconds for Kikulus. Congratulations, enjoy your 5 points, moving you up to 10 in the table.
Definitely going to feel really good about that, and we'll see if maybe we can get Kikulus in the call here in a second, but very well done, GG there. And looks like...
Of who we got left, what are you looking at the best position to go and get the second place here? Would it be Tilo, or...
Knowing that armored knight, well, I guess Tilo has stop spell now, so might be able to get through that armored knight just with the hand axe. And welcome on in, Kikulus. Congratulations on your first place victory.
Thank you very much. I'm guessing me finding the spike with the sword on the map was the big defining thing.
2 of you have done. 2 of them did not find that spike tile by random.
It was really important, yeah. That among some other things, but finding that sword was very, very relevant and important, and quite a big moment for you.
Yeah, because like all the spikes, other than the rogue scorpions having heal more, were huge. So having to cut through that and not having stop spell, you know.
Yeah, especially your 2 times trying to get in and out of Wayland, not able to be able to stop spell or anything else to get through that AK.
Yeah, that AK-47 fight took forever, but I was so happy when I got out.
Yeah, and knowing that you had seen so much of the cave system on the overworld, how did you feel about Sharlock?
Well, I knew that like a lot of the interior stuff was, just not there. So I don't know. Unfortunately, it was a 3rd try, but still, it's not horrible because with that 2nd floor grave or whatever it was, where it had the 5 stairs or 6 stairs, where it's okay, the one led to the other, and then go check the one, and I don't know. I didn't think it would be. I didn't really actually think about it too much. I was just like, well, let's try to win. It's mine to lose.
And meanwhile, in the race, we've got both Tilo and Cyberdark with all 3 of the Rainbow Drop items. Cyberdark has the sword and the armor. Tilo is, I believe, at a half plate and a chainmail and a hand axe with the small shield, whereas Cyberdark has a silver shield. We'll have to see. It looks like Tilo's going to fight the armored knight, so probably thinking about trying to go and take an attempt here.
And your wife is going to pick up the third and final item themselves, and they also did the radishes.
Does anybody have stop spell?
Stop spell came at level 12.
You're the only one with it at the moment. Thilo, of course, just picked it up if he threw it in.
So yeah, that stop spell would definitely soften the impact of that armored knight spike tile with the hurt more, heal more combination.
And Cyberdark will be the second one getting the rainbow drop. How do you feel now, especially coming into week 4 next week, Hegeless, with 10 points on the chart?
I feel really good. I don't know if I don't think I've ever gotten a first place finish in a Winter League race before. I mean, I might have, but not in recent memory. So,
coming into this week, how did you feel about the flag set?
I'm not a fan of stair shuffle, though. I guess I do know like where it's taking me when I go there. It's just a pain in the butt. So, because I mean, I was landing on stairs, and it's like, okay, this is interior Sherlock. I mean, there's one time where I had to do Radiant when I got down to like the middle of Grave, where I didn't exactly know where I was. But a lot of these is like, oh, I know where this is, I know where this is, I know where this is. I'm not a big fan of playing it, but I know what to do for Three's Company, so I don't mind that.
Well, great to get a win on a week that you might not have the most favor for. And is there anything about next week that you're looking forward to? Although it's kind of hard to predict what's going to happen next week, but the question remains.
I hadn't really thought about next week, so I know it's vanilla map, which I know the vanilla things. So being able to recognize vanilla stuff will be nice, if it happens. So should be a good time.
Yeah, it might be the most tri-stated week of the first 5 weeks. I might be wrong, but I think that it is.
Yep, and there are Blue Dragon having the Diet Wombo combo.
The old sleep and tickle. And
go ahead.
We got Zhuef here using his rainbow drop, going to be the third to enter Sherlock, and we'll see if he decides to go right as well. So Cyberdark definitely got a little bit of an edge here, and if it doesn't get trolled by the enemies too much, should be able to with no keys, it's going to end up being forced to go the right direction. So pretty great there.
Yep, and actually, as we've seen, even though it was a winding path, it won't require an extra key during the path.
So
if he picks the right stair right now, he'll be automatically, but he's not going to. It's going to be the leap across. Remember, it's that one going up is the one that's the magic that will drop him in the basement.
And looks like Tilo might be going to get some more keys. Nope, just going for the old refill at the inn.
Cyberdark at least finding that one is a dead end. Almost for a minute there, I thought he might have gone for the outside, which would have been the wrong play, but he surprisingly does stick with it.
And Zhuef does opt to take the left path, but I think it won't be very... Yep, it'll be going right to the center,
yep.
So has an opportunity to catch up if the path diverges.
Actually, I believe, if I remember right, I believe this one was wrong too. I believe it was the one in the middle that normally you don't go to. Was the one up? There it is.
Cyberdark makes it to the basement and tempts fate with the run with the golem and gets away. I do like the play of fairy fluting the golem down here just to guarantee the run. The alternate run algorithm and Easy Sharlock can really change things with some of the enemies that you might not expect.
And with that, it should be Cyberdark to lose for that massive 3-point second. Meanwhile, of course, Tilo coming out of Rimeldar, and Wave just having fun in the caves.
Should be able to make his way to the correct staircase sometime in the near future, though.
Meanwhile, Tilo throws that rainbow drop in the air, and we have everyone in Charlotte. Meanwhile, Wave does hit the basement, but will be behind Cyberdark.
And Tilo is the fourth into Sharlock. We've got our 3 remaining racers all in Sharlock right now, but Cyberdark is on the verge of victory, and pending a B press, will be winning. He presses A and does it correctly. Let's go.
Yeah, that's the only thing that could really hurt you right now. Get all the way, and then because you're always used to telling them no and getting thou art a fool, keeping it here, and then you're like, no! Get your GGs out. We'll have a time for Cyberdark in just a quick second. And of course, Waif is currently doing so as well on the spike tile. Speaking of, I think Cyberdark just joined us. GG on your second play.
GG.
GG, Cyberdark.
And that time being 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 53 seconds. Just a few seconds ahead of Wave, who gets stuck by a wizard right in front of the Dragon Lord.
GG, Cyberdark. What are your thoughts on the seed? How did it feel? What was your experience like?
That was actually a pretty fun one, except for when I ran out of keys twice, but the second time was probably a blessing, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was just a one-room dead end. You would have found out right away, but it did kind of shepherd you in the correct direction there.
And a quick GG for Wave, who finishes in 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 40 seconds.
Oh wow, close one. Keg, I'm assuming you lucked into the sword as well?
I did, yes. Yeah, I went east fairly early and then saw the rogue scorpion and then ran, and it's like, oh, I know what that sound means. And then I, explored more east and then died and came back with enough MP to hurt it down.
I had enough MP at the time, but I think it was 25 minutes in when I got it. But yeah, I had enough MP that I was like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah, you and Keegless were the only two that ever lucked into that spot.
Really?
And,
I thought everybody would, because it was only a couple steps across the bridge.
Yeah, as you see, we actually had somebody that did go in and get the coordinates. It was only 1 south, 41 east.
And unfortunately, Tilo is the only one who didn't check the chest in the north of Swamp there, and is doing this without the armor right now.
Oh no.
Welcome on in, Wave, to a GG.
GG's.
Yeah, GG. Tell us about how you felt about the seed, what your experience was, what you thought.
If you're having trouble, Wave, there you go. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I was pretty. I was expecting so much worse. I've had very bad experiences with Stair Shuffle, and this one was pretty tame. We barely had to explore any caves. I didn't even look at anything inside of Grave. I didn't look at the stairs in the Mountain Cave. This path in Sharlock seemed pretty straightforward. In fact, I see Tilo reaching it right there.
Yeah, it had a kind of a big mega dungeon out on the overworld, which had pretty much absolutely nothing in it. Everything that you wanted was swamp, cantlin, tablet, and otherwise.
Other than, of course, the one overworld tile that had the sword, which Cyber and Keegless lucked into without having the coordinates.
I was a bit disappointed by the treasure guards having heal more when we didn't have stop spell or hurt more or sleep or any spells at all pretty much. So well, we managed. It really wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I think you, everybody except Kigalus had stop spell by the time you came across the armored knight, but that armored knight fight without stop spell with the heal more and hurt more was pretty harrowing, but he was able to make it through.
You know what? I don't think I've even seen the heal more from the Armored Knight. I've seen it from the Wizards a lot. I've seen it from the Axe Knight, but not from the Armored Knight, so I'm pretty happy about that.
There's always one every race. What they had that spell? I never saw it.
And there it was, 75% shot at the Hillmore, 50% at the Hermore.
I didn't know the skeleton had DL2 breath until after I had 97 HP.
Wow, I found it out. I found out about it when I was just missing like a few pieces of gold for a copper sword at the beginning. I've been fighting skeletons without any problem at all, and then just as the last enemy was giving me the money for the copper sword, I got killed. Oh yeah, GG's Tilo.
GG's
And
to
Tilo
Tilo.
does finish at 108 and 26.
Tilo's not coming in for an interview. He's under the weather and his voice is shot.
Well, GG's to Tilo regardless. Well played. Just kind of a bummer there on missing out on the armor. That would have been a huge difference.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
one of the chests I don't forget because I've forgotten it before.
All right, looking forward to the next week for you three. What are you guys thinking of Vanilla Plus here?
I mean, we know the map.
I'm not sure what to expect, but it's always a good time to start in the Kenton location and have fun grinding until you can make it anywhere.
And while they're thinking, of course, take a look up on the screen. We have 2 races for you tomorrow at 7 and 10, and we actually have 5, not 4, as there was a late addition to the Thursday card, including the 3-pack at 8. One, of course, will be covered by us here. The others will likely be VOD cast.
Yeah, big clump of races on Thursday night. Looks like we got at least one tomorrow, if not more than one.
2 tomorrow, 4 on Thursday, and 3 of them are at 8 p.m.
Actually, 5, as we also have a 10 now that got scheduled for Thursday.
Oh, right, yeah.
So the 3 at 8, and then I think a lot of people are looking forward to that 10:30 p.m. race on Thursday, that Group 1 race to see who comes out of all the perfect racers so far. Should be a very exciting
That'll
matchup.
be our group of 10 pointers that'll start here at 10:30 on Thursday night. Did the other guy from week group 2 also have 10, or did he have 8? Because I know it was possible we could have 5 that had 10 coming out of week 2.
I believe that the only people who have 10 are in the race in Group 1.
Yep, Group 2 is all 8.
That still should be a good race to give a kind of like teaser for that race 1, for Group 1 on Thursday night.
Just want to extend a GG out to all the runners again. Well played. Minor differences causing some variances in the times there, but I think everybody made pretty good choices, and it was very fun to watch. So
Also, make sure if you haven't, give all of our runners a restream and like in their channels. As we build it to group up, of course, everybody liking each other helps raise everyone's ship. Any last thoughts from either of our 3 runners who are in chat with us tonight?
GG, guys. This was actually a fun race, and I'm looking forward to next week as well.
Yeah, GG, and thanks to the crew for putting this all on.
Yep, GG. Thanks to the crew, and looking forward to look at your races and or play with you again sometime soon.
And thanks, of course, to comms and restreamer trackers.
Well, fantastic.
Stall for time. I'm going to look for a raid.
Well, while we're waiting, we have our Trekkers RG365 and Omega. Commentator today of Hoodie, Two Shoes, and myself, and of course the best restreamer around, Flower, brought this race to you this evening.
Definite big shout outs to all the restreamers and trackers. You make our jobs so much easier. It's pretty great. So thank you so much.
And of course, we also can't do it without all you lovely folks watching us, whether it be in Dragon Warrior Randomizer or on RGP and Limit Break.
We did see 3 different stat builds tonight out of the 4 runners. Not sure that it played a huge difference in this particular race, but to see the differences. Okay, great.